air. Gold bells shining, they all dare. Tougher, fists held high. Warriors fight till the night says die. FWE, where battles divine. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. FWE, where battles define. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the FWE Fantasy Dome as we are clear on our path to FWE Paramount. Saturday night at Springfield in the rear view mirror. I'm Seth Cole, soon to be joined by my broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell, but he had a big night this past Saturday in Springfield, Illinois, as Jack Mitchell made history, becoming the first person ever in this industry to hold two single titles simultaneously. Jack Mitchell will put that Wayfinder Cruiser Championship on the line at Mortal Kombat inside Elimination Chamber. But last Saturday night at Springfield, he and Dylan Young went to the limit. At one point, Jack Mitchell fought the Samoan drop, would put Dylan Young away, but Dylan would fight on. We would get into a slugfest in the second half of this event, but eventually Jack Mitchell would get the upper hand on the taller opponent. He would hit the sling blade, and he would pin Dylan Young for the 1-2-3, claiming the Tri-Wizard Championship, preparing to defend that title when we get to the showcase of the Immortals. Jack Mitchell still riding that high. Let's hear what the double champ has to say tonight.
FWE Universe. Boy, have I been looking forward to finally saying this. The double champ is here. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. This is what I've been working for. You are looking at the first person in FWE history to hold two singles titles at the same time, and I can finally add the Tri-Wizard World Championship to my resume. I set out to make my mark, and I have done that. Well, let's be real here. I am more than aware that these two belts make me a marked man, especially now that I have the world title on my shoulder. This is the North Star of our industry, and everyone who earns or deserves a shot at this thing is gonna get after me the moment they have a chance. In case you're curious how I feel about that, there's a lyric in my song that says, "Paint a target on my back, let them come for me." I welcome the challenge with open arms, and I'm not afraid of anything or anyone because the company is on my back now. So for the immediate future, I look forward to defending the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship inside the Elimination Chamber in a few weeks' time at Mortal Kombat. And when the match was announced, I said on commentary, it was going to be fun. And you know what? I meant it. It's a competition. Brutal as it may be, it's what I live for, and I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't having a little fun along the way. But I cannot wait for that moment at Paramount, where I am standing before all of you, how I am standing now, champion of the world. I know I said before that I don't like to brag, so I'm done bragging. It's time to go to work. My name is Jack Mitchell, and the Jack Mitchell era starts now.
Well, it is indeed the Jack Mitchell era here in FWE. Mortal Kombat Paramount, wait on the horizon for the double champ. And up next, championship gold is on the line. Ariel puts her hardcore championship on the line against Harley Quinn.
Is a no
Welcome back to FWE. My broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell alongside me here now. After that promo there, I mean, man, haven't had a chance to be able to talk to you. You gotta be riding high after now holding the Tri-Wizard Championship along with this Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. Your schedule looked busy enough going to Mortal Kombat. It just got busier.
The luggage got a little heavier, to say the least. It's been fun though. Been crazy last few days, last week or so, but it's been incredible. I don't really know if it's everything I ever dreamed about just yet, because obviously I've got to defend both of these titles at some point in the future, but it is good to say that I'm the first person to hold 2 singles titles at the same time, and now readjusting myself to the commentary position here. We got, I believe, let me double check my notes here. Yeah, we've got the women's hardcore title on the line.
Heard our ring announcer Mike Rose say no holds barred, and it's been a busy last half month here for Harley Quinn as well. You go back a couple weeks ago, she was in that tag team match with Autumn Brooks that not only gave Autumn Brooks the title opportunity at Saturday Night in Springfield, but also guaranteed Harley Quinn this hardcore title match here tonight. Also last week we ended up seeing her come up short of advancing inside the women's elimination chamber match as she ended up having a losing effort to Evil Queen. So here tonight, opportunity to cash in, claim her second championship in FWE.
We're not stepping out.
Ariel, however, has held on to that championship for quite some time. Can't exactly remember the last time she defended it, but this will be very interesting to say the least.
Not mistaken, I believe the last time she hasn't defended it since winning it back from Wonder Woman. She lost the title in an 8-pack challenge, eventually got it back from Wonder Woman, and now this will be her first title defense since getting this title back around her waist. A multi-time hardcore champion here in FWE.
It'll be really interesting to see too how they're able to adapt to this match type. Obviously, Ariel, we've seen her defend the title multiple times. You said a multi-time champion, so really curious to see how she'll adapt to the style of Harley Quinn as well. Harley Quinn can be rather unpredictable at times too, as we've seen over these last few weeks. Had that really strong endurance match tag teaming with Autumn Brooks, trying to get herself into the tag team title picture.
Run to the hardcore champion, and Ariel has been hardcore. You consider the fact, actually we'll get to this in a minute.
Introducing the challenger from New York, the Psycho Harley Quinn. And her opponent from overseas, the women's hardcore champion, the Surfer.
And I was going to mention the fact here that Ariel, after she lost the title, should have been the #1 contender for a rematch, but instead actually had to go through Ursula in a #1 contendership match, was able to topple the Sea Witch, and then able to get the title back from Wonder Woman. So Ariel has pretty much been able to fight her way back up to the top. That's why I think that, you know, a lot of people, they look at Ariel, they look at the Little Mermaid, and they think, you know, she's not able to take it to the level necessary to be able to either hold or defend this title, but she has proven time and time again that she can get hardcore when it matters the most.
Absolutely, that's why the belt is around her waist as this match is underway. No holds barred, meaning no DQ. Only way to win is by pinfall or submission. But it is not falls count anywhere.
It's a good point. You gotta pin or submit your opponent inside the ring. You do as much damage as you want to outside of the ring, but you cannot go for the pinfall there. It's a nice float over DDT there by Ariel. And Harley gonna take a little bit of a moment here, rolls to the outside to take a bit of a break. Again, remember Harley Quinn getting into this hardcore title match after she ended up helping Autumn Brooks win a tag team matchup a couple of weeks ago.
There's that kendo stick in action. Couple kicks by Harley Quinn, though, has her right back on the offensive. Now she could be looking for a weapon of her own.
Just feel like this is the type of matchup that fits both of these individuals based off of what we've seen with their resume here in FWE. I mentioned that Harley Quinn looking for her second title in this industry, as she is a former female fighting champion. As a matter of fact, a two-time holder of that championship belt. The original title back when it was the One versus All championship, and then of course the current modern version in the Hero of China Fighting Female Championship, which coincidentally is the title being put on the line at Mortal Kombat. The champion Nebula still waiting to see who her 5 total opponents are going to be.
I've talked about it before and I'll say it again. I feel like the old title name is very appropriate even for the Elimination Chamber because it is One versus All.
Throwed it across that middle rope there. Looks like Harley was going to go for an early cover kick out at 1 by Ariel. Got a couple of qualifying matchups on both the men's and the women's side here tonight. Nick Gunther, who's been in a war himself. We saw at Saturday in Springfield the final rubber match between himself and RJ Bishop. Gunther winning that battle 2-1. He's got an opportunity to advance into the Elimination Chamber tonight, taking on the United States champion Matt McIntyre, and then later on the women's side, triple threat match between Black Widow, Esmeralda, and Katniss Everdeen.
And of course, at our main event as well, we got a 2 out of 3 falls match as Robbie Gilvin takes on Michael Norman for the Intercontinental Championship. Rematch for Michael Norman there.
Good one. I'm looking forward to that.
Harley looking underneath the ring. Oh, she's got a shovel. Why do we keep a shovel under the ring? I don't think we know, but now it's on the face of Ariel. And the leg.
Straight flush shot there with the head of that shovel, and now, as you said, working on the legs, trying to take away that vertical base. My gracious.
This is brutality.
There's no let up.
Oh, now onto the head. It's all legal. Ariel right back to her feet, though.
Somehow, I think that might be just more out of instinct than anything.
At this point, you're fighting on pure instinct, probably pure rage, too.
Oh, look at this. Wow. Nice backflip Hurricane Rana there by Ariel. Harley again needing to respite on the outside, and Ariel not going to give her the chance.
I feel like Ariel was getting more and more angry with each strike of that shovel to her back and her head. And the moment there was a window of opportunity, she capitalized. Big kick to the head.
Inverted atomic drop there by Ariel. Dehabilitates Harley Quinn for the time being. Now Ariel looking under the ring. What is she going to try and find? Oh, we're pulling out a table.
Crowd chanted, "We want tables, you got tables," but not a chance to use it as a weapon just yet. So it'll be deposited back into the ring by Harley Quinn.
Harley with a clothesline. Just a shot to that lower back there. Harley back in control once again, and oh, hold on, center of the ring. Gotham's Gate locked in. Is Ariel gonna tap out? Nowhere close to the ropes. Ariel trying to fight out of it, and I'm not sure if Harley released the hold or if Ariel kicked out or was able to get out of it. Now in the drop zone. Thought Harley might be going for the moonsault here, but instead, Hurricane Rana into the pin, roll up.
For the
Is
title.
Harley gonna take the title? She is!
Wow.
Here is your winner, and new Women's Hardcore Champion, the Psycho Harley Quinn.
Just like that, brand new Women's Hardcore Champion Harley Quinn topples Ariel in a no-holds-barred match. Up next, qualifying matchup on the men's side for Mortal Kombat. Getting ready here tonight for the first of 2 Mortal Kombat qualifying matchups. Our men's qualifying matchup coming up next.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring
All right, Jack, let's go back a couple of weeks ago when we finally saw this rivalry come to a head between Nick Gunther and RJ Bishop, former friends, former tag team champions. 2 out of 3 falls match, no holds barred match. It all culminated to a last man standing match this past Saturday night at Saturday Night at Springfield. Gunther wins the rivalry 2-1, but we talked about this then. We're definitely going to be talking about it now. He can't be at 100% coming into tonight's matchup.
It's definitely something worth thinking about, and that's something big because this is a qualifier matchup as well for the Elimination Chamber. So you got to bring your best no matter any means necessary. So we're going to see maybe a different side of Nick Gunther perhaps tonight, a more desperate one as well.
One member of the family has already advanced. Here comes the United States champion.
And his opponent, representing the family from Evansville, Indiana, weighing in at 192 pounds, the United States champion, Matt McIntyre.
So let's set the stage of what we know so far. We know, obviously, as the champion, you're going to be at Mortal Kombat. We know that Joker is advanced. We know Anthony McCurry has advanced. So half our field is already determined. We're now going to find out who the 4th participant is going to be here. And as I said, opportunity maybe for 2 members of the family to make up 33% of that Mortal Kombat Elimination Chamber field.
I just went back and took a look at some of my old notes as well, and Anthony McCurry already locked himself into that matchup, but Matt McIntyre, he was tied with Anthony for the 2nd most eliminations in the Royal Rumble match. Got the United States Championship around his waist. That, of course, a big deal as well because Gaston had an iron grip on that thing. So Matt McIntyre ending that reign, he's definitely got himself a pretty solid resume as well.
We're still waiting to hear if there will be any future opponent for Matt McIntyre for that United States Championship. Remember, Gaston, a lot of people probably wondering why hasn't he gotten a rematch. Matt McIntyre defeated Gaston before their title match, which put that title rematch contract null and void. So Gaston not able to fight for the United States Championship while it is around the waist of Matt McIntyre. As a matter of fact, ironic here, the current United States Champion taking on the very first FWE United States Champion in Nick Gunther.
Maybe that'll have some future implications as well. Of course, you're probably wondering, this is a one-on-one match because these 2 opponents were 2 of the top 4 losing participants from the Royal Rumble match. That's why they're only in a one-on-one, whereas some other qualifiers are triple threats.
You can make a case for Anthony McCurry, but Nick Gunther,
Oh.
the Iron Man of that Royal Rumble match, his leg drop from the top rope right out of the gate. And this is smart by Nick. Go for the early cover, kick out at 2. But hey, as we mentioned, he can't be at 100%, so you want to get this match over as quickly as possible if you're Nick.
Came right out of the gate hot. He had a lot of ground to cover on that jump too, and he made it work. These are things that I gotta take notice of. I'm scouting out 2 potential opponents here.
Major chops here in the corner by Matt McIntyre. And now gonna work on that leg. You gotta think too, Matt McIntyre knew he was gonna be taking Nick Gunther on. He had to be watching the tape in those matchups between Gunther and Bishop. Maybe trying to find a body part, target something as well. Both had the same idea and both missed.
Reading each other's minds a little bit here. There's a big uppercut by Gunther. Climbing up the top rope.
What is he thinking here? Double axe handle right across the top of the head of Matt McIntyre.
Might have been thinking about something a little bit more vicious. I don't think he was expecting McIntyre to get back to his feet so quickly.
Oh, look at that. Full Nelson suplex.
That was impressive. Anything that Nick Gunther does in this matchup is honestly pretty impressive, considering he's not at 100% like we keep talking about. Maybe a little frustrated there that move didn't connect.
Shot to the gut.
Oh, McIntyre went for a grab, did not connect.
Now Gunther chops of his own. Now he's going to work on the left leg of Matt McIntyre. All's fair.
I'm almost
and
wondering,
now look
we
at
got
this. Targeting that
submission?
leg. Can't tell if that's a knee bar or maybe a leg hook there. Looks like he was targeting the lower shin, maybe the knee region. Matt able to fight out of it though.
Matt on the offensive. I was going to say, I wonder if Nick Gunther is probably thinking in the back of his mind that the whole reason for the split between the former members of Vicious and Delicious is that RJ said that Nick was the weaker link on that team. And he's been on a hot streak as of late, so I almost wonder if that's in the back of his mind. He knows if he gets into the Elimination Chamber match, that would do wonders for his resume.
Absolutely would. Now Matt McIntyre up on the top. Looks for the elbow. I don't know, did he get it or not? Looked like Nick tried to get out of the way. Might have gotten a little bit of it here, did Matt? Goes in for the cover and a kick out before one.
If enough of it connected, it was not enough to phase Nick Gunther. Kicked out before the 1 count.
Oh, now looks like maybe Matt setting up for the Claymore. Nick. Whoa, he dodged it! He dodged it, float over into the DDT. What a counter by Gunther.
That's so impressive by Nick Gunther. Again, not at 100%, and he's countering all these moves. He's got all kinds of energy. And this is just to get into the Elimination Chamber. Oh, wait a minute.
Anthony McCrory, teammate to Matt McIntyre, making his way out here. Now remember, Matt cannot win in a disqualification, so it looks like Anthony's coming out here maybe more for a distraction, trying to make the odds be for 2 members of the family to get into Elimination Chamber. Roll up here, and Nick's gonna kick out.
Oh my goodness, that could have changed the entire momentum of the match though.
We know the family is not afraid for underhand tactics. They just tried it right there. Anthony's already advanced, and he would love to have a partner with him inside of that Elimination Chamber structure at Mortal Kombat. Now going into the crossface is Matt McIntyre. Is Nick Gunther going to tap out? Nowhere near the ropes.
This submission is locked in deep in the middle of the ring. Oh, but he breaks the hold.
And now knee just right across that shoulder region. Hoping that the crossface did enough damage, goes in for the cover to put Gunther away and advance to Elimination Chamber, and he will.
I hate to say it, but the underhanded tactics of the family coming up clutch for them again.
It always seems to work. It's annoying, but it works.
The distraction of Anthony McCrory appearing ringside was all it took to completely flip the momentum of this match and send Matt McIntyre through to the Elimination Chamber.
Matt McIntyre, he'll fight at Mortal Kombat, but up next, 2 opponents that Jack knows very well. Welcome back to FWE. As we mentioned, top of the night, we saw my colleague Jack Mitchell making his way down to the ring with the Tri-Wizard Championship over his shoulder. The former champion is in action here tonight.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 220 pounds, Dylan Young.
Now, something we have to keep in mind, we talked about this back at Saturday Night at Springfield. There was a lot hanging in the balance in our main event. Not only was the Tri-Wizard Championship on the line, but the opportunity to defend it at Paramount was also on the line. Dylan Young can enact a rematch clause at some point, but he can't do it before Paramount. Here tonight, though, getting ready to take on an individual who is already locked into the main event at Paramount, maybe try and make a clearer case for himself to get back into the Tri-Wizard Championship picture.
Be as good of an opportunity as Dylan gets. But he's got, we talked about the underhanded tactics of the family. Here's another guy who's not afraid every now and then to go to those underhanded tactics. Just ask the man who qualified for the chamber just a few moments ago.
Ernie the Keebler Elf, I guarantee you, blew up every fantasy bracket at the conclusion of the night at FWE Royal Brawl, winning the Men's Royal Rumble match, which guarantees him a shot at the Tri-Wizard Championship in the main event at FWE Paramount. Remember, I mentioned this back during that match. There was a time that Ernie was fired from FWE. He was indefinitely suspended after losing out in an ambulance match to Matt McIntyre. Matt had to bring him back for the family to be able to get that matchup against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at Infinity War Games, and Ernie would capitalize on the opportunity, winning that 30-man over-the-top Royal Rumble, a future opponent for you, Jack, for that Tri-Wizard title at Paramount.
It may be a complicated match, to say the least, a little bit of a complicated situation there, but nevertheless, he's earned the opportunity. I feel like I've earned the opportunity, and it's just a matter of time now before he and I duke it out at Paramount.
So safe to say, I would think here, you're not necessarily rooting for either one of these two guys, because as mentioned, if Dylan Young's able to pick up a victory against Ernie the Elf, that just makes a clear case for him to enact a title rematch for the Tri-Wizard Championship after Paramount. If Ernie's able to pick up a victory here against Dylan Young, then both of you hold a pinfall victory over him and would have a pretty level playing field going into your title match.
I'm hoping for a double count out. Here we go. Dylan, obviously the taller man, but we've talked about it at length numerous times. It does not matter the size or the strength of your opponent. You can outthink them, outmaneuver them, out-wrestle them. There's some chops and kicks.
Our card for Paramount starting to build. His cover here right out of the gate by Ernie. Took referee straight a little bit of time to get over there, make sure the shoulders were down, and not even going to get a 1 count. But you know, you consider this. While we already know a number of the matches that are going to be taking place at the Showcase of the Immortals, of course, a lot more will build after Mortal Kombat as well. Whoa, Ernie!
Oh,
Crash and burn from the top rope. You know, a lot of people are also making plans for after Paramount. Consider the fact that we ended up seeing just last Thursday night, Moana pinned the Royal Rumble winner, Mulan, who has a guaranteed title shot for the Women's World Championship at Paramount. So, you know, we talked about this. You could make a clear case that eventually Moana could have a title shot. Same deal here. While we know Ernie the Elf has a shot at Paramount, Dylan Young could build the resume up here, and after Paramount is concluded, he could be right back in the title picture again, looking to become a FWE record 4-time holder of the Tri-Wizard Championship.
and look, I've got respect for Dylan Young. I want to make that clear. I made the joke about the double countout, but in all seriousness, Dylan is a heck of a wrestler. He's a heck of a competitor. I would love to have another opportunity to fight him if the title is on the line, if such an opportunity would come, as I think we've got a submission attempt here. Yeah, it's locked in.
Heel hook. Heel hook there by Dylan Young. Ernie was reaching for the ropes, but able to shift his hips to be able to fight out of that submission.
There's the Hurricane Runner. Ernie able to get a lot of height.
Oh, look at that sling blade. Maybe a little PTSD there for Dylan Young. That's how he lost the title to you last Saturday night.
That's a little concerning for me, honestly. It means he's learning the playbook.
DDT, oh, but did not take account. The over 6 foot Dylan Young's leg being underneath that bottom rope.
He may have learned the playbook, but he forgot the rule about the rope break. Oh, look out. I thought he was maybe going to try and go for a springboard attack. Instead, he just connects with a kick ringside.
Both individuals on the outside of the ring. There's no title on the line, but you could certainly lose this match via count out. Got to be aware of referee Ernest Wright, who begins the count up to 2. Dylan Young midsection into those steel steps. Ernie going to try and utilize everything on the outside here before depositing Dylan back between the ropes. And I think actually Dylan's head might have bounced off those steel steps.
It very well could have happened. Ernie, obviously, you know, this is why I've got some frustration with Ernie the Elf, because there was a 5-man match all the way before. You go back before Fantasia. There was a fatal 5-way match that I was in with Ernie, and he attacked Ernest Wright, which denied me a pin to win the match. So it goes a long way back.
Ernie with
We're
a
at an 8
storied
count.
rivalry as well. Oh, look at this. Whoa! Went for a float over senton, and Dylan Young playing possum.
Man, that was such a devastating move, or it could have been such a devastating move if it connected. Instead, it connected with the wrong thing.
Going back to the outside. You see referee Ernest Wright's count has reset, and he'll utilize that extra 10 seconds to inflict more punishment on the former Tri-Wizard champ.
Hate to admit it, but it kind of shows you what kind of a competitor that Ernie the Elf is. The fact that he was willing to not take the count-out victory. He was going to go for an attack while Dylan was laying down ringside. This time, we're at a 7 count. Dylan hasn't moved.
Now starting to stir as referee hits a count of 8. Dylan Young going to get back underneath the bottom rope, so count resets. And Dylan, finding maybe a second win, just launches Ernie across the ring.
Yeah, Dylan is completely busted open. Look at the crimson mask.
Now wrenches on the arm, kicked right into the midsection. Dylan now setting up, maybe for that small package suplex into the pinning predicament. Cover is in. Ernie is grapevine and somehow was able to find a way to escape.
And he quickly gets back onto his feet.
Oh! Hits the cutter! And
And his feet were
again!
under the rope. Another rope break. It feels like we've been having a lot of rope breaks as of late.
Well, Dylan very lucky that his tall frame is what it is. That's the second time that he's been able to get his foot under the rope, maybe without even trying.
I dare say that would have put the match away.
Swinging neck breaker there by Dylan Young. And now Dylan going up to the top. Could he be looking for the senton? Hits it! Dylan to put Ernie the Keebler Elf away.
Ernie's lights are out.
And Dylan Young will pick up the pinfall victory. 2
Ernie.
matches, and in both,
Here is your winner.
the Royal Rumble winner has had a losing effort. Mulan and Ernie 0-1 since their Royal Rumble victories.
Not good momentum for that at all. I guess that's a good omen for yours truly, as you see Ernie just rolled right outside the ring, completely exhausted. Dylan wearing the wounds of battle. Mortal Kombat qualifying match coming up after this.
Welcome back here to FWE as we now prepare for our first triple threat qualifying
The
matchup.
following contest is a triple threat match. Making her way to the ring from Moscow, Russia, the Spider Black.
And we mentioned it's the first triple threat. The first 2 qualifying matchups were one-on-ones. Shigo defeating her tag team partner Kim Possible, and then Harley Quinn, the new women's hardcore champion, a losing effort to the Evil Queen. So half the field has been determined. We're getting ready to find out the 4th participant right here, right now.
I discussed earlier how the one-on-one qualifying matchups were reserved for only the top 4 losing participants from the Royal Rumble matchups. This is the case on both the men's and women's side of things. So now we reach the triple threat matches. Competitors that were selected, handpicked by the FWE commissioner.
And her opponents, first from Paris, France, Emma.
Esmeralda, we talk about, sometimes it just takes that one match to change your career in FWE. Esmeralda so far has been pretty much a non-factor on the women's roster, but if she's able to pick up the victory here in this triple threat, get into that elimination chamber, who knows, maybe leave Mortal Kombat as the female fighting champion, that could skyrocket her career.
It absolutely could. You know, we talk about that sort of thing at the Royal Rumble match type, but it also makes sense for really anything like this, as much as a qualifying match as well. You get yourself in the match, in the elimination chamber, anything can happen in there.
Esmeralda's been in a couple of the female fighting champion battle royals, losing effort in those. She and her tag team partner Kita have tried getting into the tag team title picture. They've been unsuccessful as well. Speaking of,
From another time, Captain Hybrid.
speaking of the female fighting championship that'll be on the line at Mortal Kombat, Katniss Everdeen has held that title belt here in FWE. Would love to be a 2-time champion if she can advance in this qualifier.
Definitely worth something keeping an eye on.
Widow, a former hardcore champion. Would love to add the female fighting championship to her resume as well.
I was going to add to the discussion the fact that this is a triple threat match. It's triple threat rules, meaning no DQ. It can be as brutal in a triple threat match as it is in the chamber itself.
Great point. No disqualifications, no countouts.
The only
pinfall or submission.
I think the only difference is there's not a massive steel structure surrounding the ring just yet. And there's only 3 competitors instead of 6.
Bell rings. We will wait to find out the winner of this matchup, who's going to qualify in to join the current champion Nebula, as well as Shigo and Evil Queen, who have already advanced.
Black Widow on the offense early.
Knee right there to Esmeralda, cover in, and that's the pitfalls of a triple threat match. You have to have your head on a swivel. You almost have to have one of your opponents incapacitated to not be able to get involved and break up that pinfall or submission. As we've got
a sleeper hold.
Sleeper right there. Jawbreaker to get out of it by Natasha Romanoff.
You see, we've already got a weapon being introduced as Katniss going for the steel chair. Waiting for her moment, too. This is smart. Oh, doesn't get a chance to use it. Black Widow with a springboard forearm.
Esmeralda dazed in the corner. Black Widow and Katniss now over into the other corner. Oh, looking for the kicks there that Black Widow's known for, but Katniss will meet her with a shot to the midsection instead.
And she stays on the offensive. Esmeralda trapped in the other corner.
Knee. Just look how Esmeralda crumples in a heap.
A bunch of shots to the head. I don't want to spend too much longer, as there's a jawbreaker. I was going to say that you don't want to spend too much longer hyping up the crowd. It's good to have the crowd on your side, but you've got to stay focused on the task in front of you.
See Katniss on the outside. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to have one of your opponents outside of the ring. Keep it in a one-on-one between you and somebody else. Eliminate that X factor. Forearm shot, a pop-up forearm. I think that was there by Katniss Everdeen.
He's not going to let Black Widow get away.
Ooh, maybe looking, I think she was looking for the belly-to-belly overhead suplex. Black Widow able to fight out of it.
Out to the gut. Oh, another huge punch connects, but she forgets completely about Esmeralda, who quickly breaks that pin up.
And you noticed Esmeralda kind of hanging out there against the ropes, letting this all play out. Smart, stay fresh. Take advantage of a distraction if you can, but no distraction there. Just a straight-up springboard
Behind
forward.
you.
And there's the chair shot from Katniss.
Oh my goodness, she had absolutely no idea what was coming until it was too late. By the time she turned around, she was a deer in the headlights.
Cover
There's a
here.
pin.
Black Widow is down. This is a perfect opportunity to capitalize, but Esmeralda gets the shoulder up at one.
Perfectly played by Katniss, though. As soon as both of her opponents were down, she went for the cover, knowing none of them were going to get up in time to break it up. Didn't matter who she picked.
Big knee to the head there by Black Widow, and now here come the karate-type chops, kicks. There's a Bo Psycho knee. Esmeralda pops right back up, though, and she's going to get it again.
Same exact moves, same exact punches and kicks connect. Katniss trying to take advantage. Another shot to the gut.
Esmeralda to the outside. Perfect opportunity for either of the individuals inside the ring.
Oh.
Ripcord clothesline. Here's the cover. Esmeralda back into the ring, and not even going to get a one.
When Katniss pulled that move off, I think her stomach, her chest area landed on that chair as her back lands on that steel chair with that springboard move.
Facebuster there by Katniss to Esmeralda. Now just a straight takedown by Black Widow, and here come the palm strikes. Katniss trying to cover up.
Might be trying to roll out of the ring here, which she does.
Flatliner. Black Widow in for the cover. Again, Katniss is there. And not even a one count. Flatliner as
flatliner.
well.
Oh my goodness.
This time by Katniss. Esmeralda is down. Cover
She's
is
stirring.
in. And a kick out at 1.
Oh man, a kick out at 1. I feel like if that would have gone on for maybe a second longer, I don't know if Esmeralda would have gotten there in time.
Katniss brings Esmeralda to the ropes.
Oh, Black Widow tried to intercept that, but missed.
Uh-oh. Might be looking for potentially the Falcon's arrow. Black
The
Widow
steel
just
chair.
going to let it happen.
Oh, I thought maybe it was going to connect to the steel chair. Now Black Widow goes to break up the pin.
She was more than willing to let the punishment be dished out. She wasn't going to let the pinfall take place. As now there goes Katniss up over the top. Now cinches in the Black Widow on Esmeralda. Can Esmeralda get to the ropes, or is she going to tap out? She's fighting, and she taps. Black Widow is going to go to Elimination Chamber.
Here is your winner, the Spider-Black.
Well, she played it perfectly. She deposited Katniss to the outside, took advantage after the Falcon Arrow with a submission. Black Widow's going to Mortal Kombat.
Contest is a 2 out of 3 falls match and is for the Intercontinental Championship.
Welcome back, everyone, to FWE. It is main event time, and if you've stuck around, your patience will be rewarded as we get set for a rematch between Michael Norman and Robbie Gilvin. Gilvin, the current champion. Michael Norman looking to get the title back, a title that he lost in an 8-pack challenge just prior to Royal Brawl.
Michael Norman, the leader of the faction known as the Family, has had an iron grip on the DC Comics Intercontinental Championship for quite a long time until Robbie Gilvin was able to win that title off of him in that 8-pack match that you mentioned, Seth. And of course, unsuccessful in cashing in his world title match that he had at the Royal Brawl PLE against Dylan Young. Now he's trying to reclaim the title that he did have, but it's going to be no easy feat in a one-on-one match too.
75% of the Family hold championship gold. Cole Eastwood, Anthony McCurry, currently the tag team champions. Matt McIntyre, the current United States champion. Heck, Matt and Anthony have both now qualified their way into the Elimination Chamber at Mortal Kombat. Michael trying in some way to bring championship gold back to the Family himself.
It's almost funny that you consider what's been going on with the Family as Michael Norman, the leader of the Family, but he's been operating in the dark for most of the time that he's been in control of the faction, and now he's the only one without any gold around his waist.
Robbie Gilvin, for the very first time, holds championship gold here at FWE after winning that 8-man elimination 8-pack challenge. So he had to survive 7 other superstars to be able to claim the Intercontinental Championship. 2 out of 3 falls match, and here's the interesting thing about this, Jack. It's a rematch for Michael Norman, but the stipulation was actually requested by the champion.
I guess that means that Michael Norman is willing to do anything to win his title back if he agreed to the stipulation that was recommended by the champion.
It's got to be a lot of confidence out of Robbie Gilvin as well. 2 out of 3 falls is pretty much as it sounds, folks. You're pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to get not 1, but 2 pinfalls or submissions against your opponent. Go down to our ring announcer, Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from Orlando, Florida, weighing in at 296 pounds, Michael Norton. And his opponent from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 290 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Robert
I know I'm supposed to be calling these matches down the middle, but Robbie Gilvin, I got to mention again, he was in my corner in that Iron Man match I had against Thanos, so Got to support him a little bit.
And it's always cool to see somebody finally break through that ice, right? Be able to get that first title. I mean, obviously for yourself, getting that first title belt when you won the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. We've seen Matt McIntyre, the elation on his face when he won the United States Championship. I mean, even go back to earlier on here tonight, Harley Quinn, the new Women's Hardcore Championship. First time she's ever held that title belt here in FWE. It's so cool to see people finally be able to break through and finally be able to put a championship belt around their waist.
Absolutely. Of course, that would depend a little bit on the methods on which they acquire their championships, but so far, at least tonight, we've seen some things like that. I'll interrupt my sentence here as we got to cover. Quick kick out by Robbie. And we started the night with a title change. We'll see if we end the night with a title change.
Let's not forget Michael Norman's resume when he was the Intercontinental Champion. Granted, he lost his title, but that was in a multi-man match. In several singles matches where he put the title on the line, he was successful, including an open challenge against Levi McIntyre. Here's a cover in by Michael, trying to get that first pinfall and a kick out at 1. Michael Norman also, when the championship wasn't on the line, it was then United States Champion Gaston versus Michael Norman, and Michael picked up a pinfall victory against him. So while Michael had the Intercontinental Championship, as you said, he was dominant. He was on a good streak, but after he lost the title, and then after he lost out on winning the Tri-Wizard Championship at Royal Brawl, it just kind of seems like Michael's been on a bit of a skid as of late.
Michael tried to introduce a baseball bat to the equation, and Robbie was having none of it, but yeah, Michael has been on quite the skid as of late, trying to regain some of the momentum. And interestingly enough, it looks like, at least from what I understand, he's told the other members of the family to stay in the locker room. You know, when we saw the family have that debut appearance back at Sugar Rush, I believe, it was when he had that match against Levi McIntyre for the title, and Levi was completely surrounded by all 4 members of the family. But this time, Michael's out here by himself.
And why I find that more interesting is, 2 out of 3 falls matches, we can clearly see there's no disqualifications, there's no countouts. The pinfall submission obviously has to take place inside the ring. But we saw earlier on tonight, Matt McIntyre was more than happy to utilize the distraction from his teammate Anthony McCurry in order to advance to Mortal Kombat. You would think that if the option is there, Michael in a no DQ type of matchup would call upon his family members to come out here and help him reclaim the Intercontinental Champion. Robbie looking underneath the ring now. He's got a hockey stick. No penalty box, though, for Robbie Gilvin as Michael just hoists Robbie up into the air. Bad landing, going for the first pinfall here. And a kick out at 1 by the champion. Look at this, just dead weight lifting. Dominator in the center of the ring. This could be the first pinfall to the challenger, Michael Norman. And a kick out. Robbie with the kick out. Michael now setting him up. Might be getting ready for the spinning power bomb. Hits it. Will this be enough to put Robbie away and go up 1-0? Yes, it will. And now Michael looking to build off of that, going for another power bomb. I think my broadcast colleague Jack's having some technical issues here. As Michael now looking to cinch in the bear hug submission. Robbie headbutt, gets out of it. Enziguri, disaster kick off of the middle rope. Robbie playing from behind here, down 1-0. He needs to get the next 2 pinfalls to retain the title. Michael just needs 1 to take the Intercontinental Championship back. Big knee up under the jaw. I thought that was dimming the lights of Norman, but Norman back on his feet, now dazed with a forearm. Big boot by Robbie Gilvin, now gonna wrench on the arm. Not a submission, it doesn't look like, just trying to wear out the extremities of Michael Norman. Knees to the back to follow up. Sudden death here for Robbie Gilvin to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Michael Norman, one fall up. And again, this time now working on the right arm. He was working on the left arm before, now working on the right arm. That takes away a lot of Michael's offense. The Dominator, the power bomb, very difficult to hoist your opponent up. As another disaster kick. If you're not able to get that strength in your arms, as here's the cover to draw it back even 1-1 and not even going to get a 1 count. Straight up boots, right to the chest. Major clothesline from Gilvin. And now Robbie to the outside. What more can they introduce into this matchup? He's got himself a table. Gives an opportunity for Michael Norman. Oh, sleeper! Sleeper locked in. If Michael passes out, that'll be a fall. But able to fight out with the jawbreaker. That table precariously in the center of the ring. Up and down with the slam goes Gilvin. Michael Norman with the momentum. Oh, but he left himself open. Super kick. Can Robbie get to the cover? Robbie trying to crawl over to Michael's body. If he could just get an arm draped over. Oh, he's going for more. Well, I thought he was going for more. Instead, Michael back up to his feet. Off the rope, shot to the midsection. Robbie looking for the, well, I thought he was going for ripcord. Clothesline instead, hits the forearm. Michael wisely rolls to the outside. Robbie's got a kendo stick in hand. And now just gonna start wearing Michael Norman out. Shatters the kendo stick across the leg of Norman, who now just runs him over, steamrolls him with the shoulder tackle. Again, Michael up 1-0. Robbie Gilvin has to win the next 2 falls. Michael only needs to win 1, and he walks out tonight a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Gilvin, springboard forearm off the ropes. And now, Robbie might be tuning up the band. Hits the super kick. Lights out for Michael to draw this back even. 1 fall apiece. And Gilvin will get it. It's now sudden death for both. Next pinfall, next submission, wins the title. Michael up over the top. And now, Robbie gonna wear out the chest with the 10 beats of the Batterum. Michael crumples down to the floor in a heap. And Gilvin now back under the ring. Now he's got himself a steel chair, which he delivers to the cranium of the challenger. And now just wearing out Michael Norman. Shot to the right arm, again to the dome. Hoisting Michael up on the outside. Pops up into the forearm. Michael back to his feet though. Robbie with the kicks. And now, Michael up and off the top of the barricade. Again, the pinfall submission had to take place inside of the ring, but Robbie trying to do all the damage again on the outside. Nice spinning kick. Gilvin now setting up for more on the outside. What could he be preparing for here? Doesn't matter, Michael with the back elbow fights out. Robbie been utilizing those kicks here in this matchup. And now knee twice to the gut. Michael down, Robbie on his feet. Taking a little rest here, now getting fired up. The crowd here in Albany, New York, loving what they're seeing in tonight's main event. Shot to the back, the lower back kidney region. Now Michael deposit back inside the ring. Does Robbie feel he's done enough damage? Robbie in the corner, might be setting up for sweet chin music. Hits it. Michael crumples onto the table. Can Robbie get to the cover to retain the title? He's crawling to get there. Michael's still out. Here it is. Cover is in. Robbie Gilman retains the title. Playing from behind.
Here is your winner, and still Intercontinental Champion, Robert
It was sudden death. He needed 2 pinfalls to retain. He topples Michael Norman and will keep the Intercontinental Championship. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.